Welcome to the All Things Property podcast with me, Simon Bacon.
And me, Ian Sadler.
And today, Ian, we're going to talk about a subject that is dear to our hearts.
Yours.
Property inventories explained. Welcome to the All Things Property podcast with me, Simon Bacon of Preferential Properties. Every week, Ian Sadler and I will delve into all things property. We'll guide you through with friendly, no-nonsense advice. Now, this is something we've covered in various podcasts that we've done. In fact, last week's episode talked about avoiding disputes and how deposits can be returned or the issues that affect deposits. What we're going to talk about today is what actually is a property inventory, why they matter, how they protect landlords and tenants, and if there's one document that decides whether a deposit dispute is won or lost, it's the inventory. And I think we've shown in previous episodes, most people don't give it enough attention. So, what is, putting you on the spot now, Ian, what is a property inventory and what isn't it? Remember the last bit, what isn't it?
In the spirit of deja vu, a property inventory is a schedule of content and condition of a property given to tenant at the start of a tenancy.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I know there's a punchline coming somewhere.
Yeah. Keep going.
So that's the why. What is it? What isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a tenancy agreement. Don't tell me. Just cut
it's
to
not
the
a
chase.
tenancy agreement, really. So, let me put a little bit of simplicity
Flesh on the
to
bone.
it.
Oh,
all right.
I'm so happy.
What a property inventory isn't, it's not just a list of items. It is a condition record, ultimately.
Did I not say it's a schedule of content and condition?
You did. You just didn't say it wasn't a list of items, so one to me. Anyway,
No, a list of items.
Why do inventories matter so much at the end of a tenancy? What's it linked to?
They're a binding document that represents the condition of a property at the start and can provide a basis for damage, dilapidations, wear and tear at the end of a tenancy.
Exactly. And in terms of what should be included in a proper inventory, every room, every fixture and fitting in that room, cleanliness, condition of the walls, garden, meter readings, keys.
As many photographs as you like.
Yeah. All of which go to make up I suppose,
inventory
it's
document.
A picture, isn't it? It's a picture of the property.
A snapshot,
at a given,
I like.
Yeah, snapshot at a given moment in time. And that's what's relied on. So, what's the importance then of detail, vague against specific description? So, if there was take a wall that's slightly marked, how would you describe that on an inventory?
A wall, white painted, scuff marks in certain areas, see photograph.
Yeah. So the photograph will show what the scuffs are and the description is just setting out the basics of it. Yeah?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Do you use good, fair, poor? Are they...
I do. If carpets are approaching past their sell-by date, I will put showing marks of fair wear and tear, or good or fair. It's a loose expression, isn't it? But which means nothing when you think about it. What does fair mean?
Yes, very subjective,
good.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, photos and videos. How much would you say is enough?
I don't use videos. Photographs, you can, on average, 2 or 3 bed property, you can add maybe 20 or 30 photographs to any inventory, at least, I would think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Do you think videos will be a way forward, or
no?
Not? I don't know many agents that use a video.
Not for video, not for inventories. Why?
No.
Well, a photograph in a way is more, you have to pause a video to get a specific shot. A photograph is a snapshot. You don't have to pause. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. But a photo on its own isn't sufficient, is it? And written on its own really doesn't do it justice.
It's a combination of the two.
Yeah, it is. Very much so. So in terms of inventories, why they matter, again, how important is it that the tenant goes through that inventory when they first move in?
Massively important.
And what are they looking to do?
To make any comments or amendments they need or think are worthy additions to it, add them to the document, sign it and send it back.
And why do you think tenants sometimes struggle to...
Sometimes, 90% of my tenants do not send it back within the required 7 days. No idea.
No? Do you think they just don't understand the importance
I think people,
of it?
partly that, I think people lead busy lives and it wouldn't be high on the list of priorities. But it should be, really.
Mm.
Most times it wouldn't be, but if there's a problem, it would be.
Yeah. And in terms of at the move out, again, we have talked about this in previous episodes, do you end up with a side-by-side comparison of, you have the ingoing inventory and you compare it to what you see?
Well, I do that on the walk around and take photographs of areas I feel differ. I have the inventory with me and we'll take photographs of areas I feel are different, marked or damaged.
Okay.
Lift the lid on a toilet, have a look inside. Oh, not been cleaned for a long time.
Yes, absolutely.
Why did I do that?
Yes. So, question for you.
Me?
Yeah, for you. Who should prepare the inventory? The landlord, the agent, or a third party?
Okay, if you can afford it, and it works as a business model, and a third party agent.
Why? Why do you say that?
Well, I use one rarely, but if I've got a 4-bedroom house furnished, it's a pain in the backside doing an inventory for a house that big. A professional inventory clerk is used to that day in, day out, and they can provide a really comprehensive, detailed inventory, whether it's a 2 or 3 or 4-bed house. I sometimes use that if I feel get an instinctive feeling about areas of contention maybe, that I'll have an independent inventory done. But no, landlord definitely not. I think the agent needs to do it, or an employee of the agency.
Okay, and I think you're right. I think there are inventory providers out there, but where does that sit then in terms of, I suppose, liability? Is that if you get a third-party inventory provider to produce your inventory and the tenant then raises issues against that, where would you sit with that?
Well, you'd have to assume, presume that the inventory clerk your company you're using is competent and not likely to be professionally negligent. So that's a good question. If an independent third-party inventory was produced and the tenant made 3 or 4 changes to it, would you go back to the inventory company that produced it, or would you check them yourself?
It's difficult, isn't it, in terms of trying to get that balance right between independence, accuracy. If you do an inventory and there are issues with it or things that you've perhaps missed, then it's down to you, isn't it? Whereas if you have a third party do it and they miss out, then you almost feel, oh gosh, I wish I'd done it myself. So it is a difficult one, really.
1 in 100 I'd give to somebody else to do.
Okay. And I think that's a discussion that we might have in a future podcast. Maybe we'll get one of our third-party inventory providers in to talk through how they do it and how they would deal with some of the issues that we've talked about. So that's one to perhaps watch out for. So talk me through, Ian. Okay, and I bet again you must have loads of examples of this. Give me some examples of mistakes that have been made with inventories where a landlord has perhaps said to you, no, don't worry about it, I'll save the money of getting inventory done, I'll produce it myself.
Well, they're unlikely to have a template of an inventory to use, because if they're thinking of cutting costs like that, they wouldn't bother buying a template. If they're no experience in doing inventories, then they're going to be short on detail, 4 walls and the ceiling's not adequate description for a living room. They're unlikely to take photographs or enough photographs, so I'm not saying they all would, but the likelihood is that if they're looking to penny pinch, then they're not going to do a proper job.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think one of the things that I find when I'm talking to a new landlord is, you know, helping them to understand the importance that the inventory has in terms of the whole tenancy process. That, you know, there are some really key documents, aren't there, in terms of setting a tenancy up, and an inventory. Lots of people sort of don't see it as important, but it is a fundamental document to go alongside.
Well, it's the major bone of contention in any tenancy. Speed of maintenance repairs is one, but it's way below an inventory. Lack of a good inventory, the potential problems that can cause.
How long does an inventory generally take, do you think, to do it well? I don't know, let's take, for example, a 2-bedroom terraced house, 2 bathrooms.
Well, on average, a 2-bedroom house, probably 2 hours 30 minutes, and a 3-bed, I would say 3 hours.
Why?
Attention to detail is so important in these inventories.
You're right. The attention to detail is actually critical in terms of delivering a report that you can hang your hat on. So if it's not clearly recorded at the start, it's very hard to argue at the end. The inventory is your evidence. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the All Things Property podcast. If you found this episode useful, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. These things really help us reach the people who need to hear this advice. See you next week.